Hi, I'm Tom Langen. Our team at Facebook is responsible for the roadmap of developer features for Oculus. This includes tools and other products that make it easier to be efficient and generate more revenue. We've shipped several features recently and more are arriving in the coming months. All of this is informed by feedback from you, our developers. I'm excited to share technical details about Quest 2, improvements that will make it easier to build and monetize your apps, and new innovations that will create greater human connection in VR. When we designed Quest 2, we took into account feedback from developers like you. We heard you want higher fidelity visuals, open worlds, and more complex systems. You asked for a lot: more CPU power, more GPU, more RAM, and higher resolution displays. Thanks to your feedback, with Quest 2, you'll have improvements in all those areas. The displays on Quest 2 are 1832 by 1920 per eye. That's about 50% more pixels than Quest and 90% more pixels than Rift S. This allows for more detail, crisper text, and no perceptible screen door effect. Quest 2 is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 platform. Compared to the Snapdragon 835 in the original Quest, you'll have about 46% more CPU, 33% more GPU, even with the larger eye buffers, and slightly higher I/O speeds. Quest 2 will also have 6 gigabytes of RAM compared to 4 in the original Quest. In other words, there'll be plenty of additional performance available to your apps. While you still need to design with a mobile, standalone VR perf envelope in mind, with Quest 2, you'll be able to do things that weren't possible on Quest. We've seen amazing innovation in PC VR on Rift, Rift S, and most recently, Quest with Oculus Link. Quest 2 will also support Oculus Link, and when it launches, it'll be the highest resolution Oculus device for experiencing PC content. We believe that Quest 2 will offer the best of both worlds between standalone VR and PC VR, bringing in new audiences and higher levels of visual fidelity for developers creating for Oculus on the PC. In addition to the hardware performance improvements we're making with Quest 2, we also want to make sure you can squeeze every drop of performance out of all of our devices. That's why we were early adopters of Vulkan for VR development. We shipped Vulkan support for Unreal Engine 4 in 2019. By supporting Vulkan early, apps such as In Death, Trover Saves the Universe, and Lies Beneath were able to ship this summer to Quest. Earlier this year, we were the first VR platform to add Vulkan support to Unity. We launched with an experimental label to get early feedback from developers and are working together with Unity to ship production support. We're excited to see Unity titles ship on the Oculus platform soon. You can learn more about Vulkan support at the dedicated Unity and Unreal sessions coming up. Fixed Foveated Rendering, or FFR, has been a great tool for improving app perf. It allows apps to render at the periphery of the scene at lower resolution than the center, which reduces overhead. In the past, developers had to hand-tune FFR settings for individual device targets. But with a feature called Dynamic FFR that launched earlier this year, the system will dynamically adapt foveation level based on GPU utilization. With Dynamic FFR, you'll be able to develop for Quest and Quest 2 and get the best experience on each device. Best of all, we enable Dynamic FFR by default on Quest 2, which means that existing Quest apps will look their best on Quest 2 automatically, no modifications required. Let's talk about OS improvements. Something we've heard is that you'd like the system UI to do more of the work for you without pulling people out of your app. Our universal menu is used for many functions, including recording videos and taking screenshots. We're rolling out the ability for universal menu to come up as an overlay without pulling people out of your app. Other system UI like media sharing, friend requests, and in-app purchasing will also appear as overlays, so people can stay engaged in your experience. In case you want to take action such as pause your game when an overlay appears, we're introducing new focus APIs that will notify you. Another frequently requested feature has been a standard system keyboard. In August, we introduced a new API that will bring up the system keyboard as an overlay over your app. Now you can add a keyboard to your app with a single API call rather than designing a new keyboard from scratch. Now, when we release Quest OS updates, some of you have said you'd like early access to test your apps. To enable this, we've introduced the Developer Preview Channel, or DPC. DPC gives select developers early access to preview OS releases. This enables you to test your application prior to launch and provide feedback. Talk to your developer relations engineering contact for access to DPC. Now, let's talk about distributing, monetizing, and promoting your apps. We've heard from some of you that you'd like to offer subscriptions to your customers. We'll be rolling out an in-app subscription option in the first half of next year. We've also heard from many developers that you'd like better ways to distribute your apps, even if they aren't listed in the Quest store. Earlier this year, we announced a system to deliver apps directly to end users via a link in a safe and seamless way. You'll be able to promote your app via a product URL that will take a customer to an Oculus product page, where they can purchase and download the app from our servers without the need for sideloading. And then once installed, apps distributed via this new channel will appear in the user's library like any other app. They can receive updates and leverage Oculus APIs. We're still working on this feature, but you should look for it early next year. Okay, video. We know video plays an important role in app promotion and in telling the story of VR to new audiences in general. We're investing to increase the quality and quantity of shared video content. Mixed reality capture, or MRC, is a feature that enables people to capture themselves from a third-person perspective superimposed on a VR experience. Earlier this year, we published a tool for creators to capture video from both Quest and PC VR apps. A growing number of developers have added MRC support to their apps, and trailers created with MRC are responsible for a measurable lift in sales in the Oculus store. This year, we're taking the concept of third-person video capture to the next level by integrating it into the Oculus app for iOS and Android in a new feature we call Spectator Mode. Once you add support to your app, your customers will be able to use their smartphone to stream third-person video in real time, with the option to record video and share it via any other app. Imagine capturing a video in VR and sharing it as an Instagram story in just a few taps of your smartphone. For more information on subscriptions, new release channels, and mixed reality capture, there will be a dedicated session for these topics. You heard us talk about how the future is human, and we want to give you the technology to make that possible. At the end of 2019, we gave developers a sneak preview of hand tracking for Oculus Quest. With support for hand tracking, apps such as Elixir, Richie's Plank Experience, The Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets, and Waltz of the Wizard are bringing a new level of immersion to gaming. Hand tracking was a big step forward, and we're thrilled with the reception it's received from our community. We want to take this immersion even further, and we're working on improved human understanding. Soon, we will launch inferred upper body motion, which will make torso and shoulder movement more natural. We want to make it simple to integrate all of our current and future enhancements to your apps, so we're introducing the new Body API. Body API provides a single skeletal model and fuses together all these inputs across hand tracking, headset and controller tracking, upper body motion, and in the future, our lip sync APIs. With Body API, interactions in VR will be more authentic than ever before. Check out the session on Avatars and Platform SDK to learn more about the Body API. With these improvements to platform, hardware, and monetization, we hope your apps will be more immersive, more compelling, and more successful than ever before. The primary input into our developer roadmap is feedback from you, including surveys. So please make your voice heard. We will listen. Speaking of developer feedback, we've been making big improvements to the Oculus developer experience. Next up is David Burrell.